The one-line art style lends itself so well to wire jewelry. The artistic, fun shapes that you can make are absolutely unlimited. Hi, I'm Patty. I'm a jewelry designer here at Fire Mountain Gems and Beads Jewelry Studio. And today, I'm going to show you how to make these adorable one-line style cat silhouette earrings.
Get our email newsletter for beading news, sale announcements, new product announcements, and more. Link is in the description below.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and look at the piece that we're making. Aren't these adorable, these little cat earrings? It is one piece of 12-inch wire that we've started with the heart. We've come around to make the cat body and ended with the tail. Very, very cute. There are so many different shapes that you can make. Here I've made a dog, you can see that one, or a hummingbird in a couple of different styles. Here are some really great boot earrings that I made. You can see in this piece, I've made the name Mary, and I've circled it, and that is all one piece of wire. There's just so many things that you can do. Make sure and check out our beautiful array of colored zebra wire. There's so many wonderful options, as well as other wires. You know, if you want a piece that's really going to endure and last for a long time, say if you're making a pendant that's going to be a daily wear, you might consider using half hard wire in sterling silver or gold filled. This wire is copper and it's a little softer. And so for earrings, it's absolutely perfect because the earrings don't rub your skin and they're not going to get a lot of stress. If you have something that's going to rub your skin more or a lot of stress, consider using a semi-precious metal like sterling silver or gold filled. Let's talk about the tools that we're going to be using in this piece. There are some special tools that really make it easier to work with colored wire like this when we're bending and manipulating it. First, let's look at nylon jaw pliers. These are really important. It's a flat plier with a nice wide nylon jaw. This helps you put pressure on the wire without marring the coating. As well, we have this wonderful wire straightener that you just put the wire through, and I'll show you in a minute when we cut it. And this will help straighten the wire so you have a nice, clean piece of wire to start with no bumps. Tool magic is another thing I want to talk about. This is a coating that you dip your pliers into that also keeps your plier from marring the wire. The nylon jaws are great by themselves, but they don't get into fine detailed areas. So I can take my favorite pliers with a smaller jaw like this, dip them in the tool magic, and they're great for the colored wire like this. Other tools that we need are, of course, some pliers. So we are using these great chain nose pliers that have been dipped. And I have a second pair of chain nose pliers in case I need an extra little hand. Got some round nose pliers and some flush cutters. And the last tool that we need is a pattern. This is a really important part of the process because you need to know where to bend your wire. You can see that the pattern follows very closely the earring that I ended up making. And the way that I got this was I went online and I just researched one-line drawings. If you're not a great 2D artist and you're not really good with drawing, that's okay. I researched line drawings of cats, and I found several that I liked, and I took different elements from each one and created my little cat here. So let's go ahead and start making the earring. So I'm going to set these guys off to the side a little bit so we have some space to work with. The first thing I'm going to do is take my zebra wire. It is 20 gauge fuchsia, really nice bright pink. And I'm just going to measure out about a foot. So there's about 6 inches. So there's about 12. I always cut a little extra inch or so just for security. I like to make sure I have enough. Okay. So then I'm going to straighten that wire. So I'm going to grab it just with my thumb and forefinger, just like that. If I involve these fingers, it might get mangled. So I just hold it like that and kind of straighten one side, and I'll flip it around and straighten the other. Good. It's okay if it has a little curve, but it's nice and clean and we won't have weird bumps in our piece, which is important. Okay. Next thing we'll do is grab the pattern and just set that down right there. And then you just have to figure out where you're going to start and where you're going to end. So in kind of looking at this, I decided I would start with the heart here and I end with the tail up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay my wire right on the pattern. And I'm going to leave a little extra space down here. I'm actually going to make a loop at the end. And the way we're going to create this is by just manipulating the wire on top of the pattern. So I have a nice straight area right here, and then I need a little curve here. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers and very gently pick that up. And right where I had that, I'm going to make a curve with my round nose plier. And then I know I've got another curve here, so I'm going to go ahead and take my dipped chain nose and grip that a little bit there, pull the wire up, and I'm just creating the heart. So a lot of it you create right on the pattern. Some of it you have to pick the wire up and manipulate it up a little bit further. Okay, so I've got my first bump of my heart. I've got the little downward part. Then I've got to make the second bump in the heart. Sorry about that. Okay. Bring that around. And then I'm just kind of look at what I have. Is it matching? Is it working? So we're getting there. Doesn't need to be perfect when you start. So we've got that first bump. I'm going to just manipulate that a little bit. And I'll bring that second bump down a little bit. And I'll kind of look where I'm at. That's getting a lot better, much closer. I think I'm just going to hold it to the pattern and just kind of bend the wire a little bit on the pattern. That's looking really good. That's really where we want to start. So now that I've got that part, I've got this little cat booty at the bottom here. We're going to kind of tilt the wire up to follow that line. And then we're going to curve upward. A lot of this is really done with your fingers. So we're going to curve it up to follow that line. You can see that it's kind of curving up around the outside if I can show you. Doing really well. And then we've got this kind of center body area here that curves around. So I am just going to kind of hold that and try and curve it with my fingers. And just lots of little adjustments to do this. Let's see how it's going. And every once in a while, you just have to stop and look and see if it's looking like you want it to look. Just make little bitty adjustments. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of pick it up and make the little outward curve. It's a little easier if you do that. There we go. Now we're coming up to the shoulder area, and then there's a little loop here that kind of denotes the neck. So I'm going to kind of hold it down and let it curve that direction. Then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers right where that loop is going to be, and very gently I'm going to hold this because I don't want to mar the coating. I'm just going to make that loop. Okay. Need to make a little bit of adjustment. Your round nose pliers are great for adjusting curves, but just do it gently. We're really getting there. Got to adjust this top area. Okay, that is looking great. We're really getting somewhere. So I think you have the idea about how to use the pattern in your tools to create the shape. I'm going to go ahead and move along more toward the end, and we'll pick it up then. So now we've got our shape completed. It's really just about finishing it up. We've got a tail on this end and a tail on that end that we need to finish. So let's do that. First, I'm going to clip all the extra wire off here we didn't need. We're just making a little loop here, so I just need about that much. Might even be a little bit too much, actually. I think I need to cut it a little shorter. There, not that much. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom of my heart, and I've got this tail down here, and I'm just going to take the very end of that, and I'm going to make a bend so it's a loop. So I just made a little loop in that tail, and that's coming around, and I'm going to take my dipped pliers and I'm going to clamp that around very nicely. So that's finished, and then we're going to take this last bit of tail on top, grab my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to make a little loop here, come around the back, and take my dipped pliers here. I'm just going to close that loop. So it's a nice finished piece. So now it's just about making little adjustments. You can see in my original here, my cat is a little skinnier. So to fix that, I can really just push those sides in a little bit, and magically your cat has gone on a diet there and they match. Isn't that great? Wouldn't it be nice if life worked like that? Okay. Wonderful. I'm really happy with my cat now. So the last thing to do is just add the ear wire. I've got these great coated ear wires in all these wonderful different colors you can see. You can make your own ear wire, but I love these pre-made ones, and I like the contrast in color, so I'm going to use purple, but you could use anything that you like. Just going to open that up, put it on my kitty, and my kitty will kind of free float on there. And I like the movement that that allows, actually. So when you're wearing it, it'll kind of go back and forth. I hope you've enjoyed learning to make these beautiful one-line art style cat silhouette earrings. They're so much fun. If you make your own one-line art earrings or any jewelry, or you add it to your sales line, be sure to tag us and let us know. We'd love to see what you're up to. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and sign up for our email newsletter. The link for that and for all the materials in the piece that we made today are in the description box below. We'll see you next time.